Today I'll introduce you to my new series of YouTube videos. This series will be about aircraft in the popular combat game, War Thunder. For my first episode, I will show you an early game aircraft from the British line, the Fury Mark I, which is positively the worst aircraft currently featured in the game. However, before I continue on this topic, let me first explain this series. Every other episode, starting with the first, I choose an aircraft which I will present to you, describing a few of the key characteristics important to aircraft of this class. Between my own episodes, I'll ask viewers, that's you, to make suggestions about what aircraft I should present within a given category. For example, next episode I'd like to do a presentation on an early World War II biplane. The content of my next video will be as a direct result of the most commonly mentioned aircraft in the description of this video. But back to this episode. The Fury Mark I biplane is known as a reserve aircraft. This is because it is the first aircraft in the British tech tree, and it's free. Really, what more could you want? Unfortunately, a lot more. As I mentioned earlier, this plane is terrible. It's slow, flimsy, and lacks any armour protection for the pilot, something which later British planes do not miss out on. Visibility from the cockpit, which is important if you want to fly in simulator battles, is poor, especially when looking forwards, which is something you will want to be doing a lot. Would you believe it? Although speed isn't really a massive problem when fighting other biplanes, the Fury does not forget to lack in other areas, such as manoeuvrability. The turn time is competitive, but unlike some other biplanes of its class, the aircraft can lose speed incredibly quickly in a dogfight, partially due to its lack of engine power. The roll rate is also slow, and so any pilot in this aircraft would be wise to set up an attack long before reaching their target. Although most early aircraft have poor firepower, the Fury struggles to keep up with even its closest rivals. Two Vickers machine guns with their slow fire rate won't drain their plentiful supply of ammunition quickly, but that means you will have to be able to stay on target to a desperately manoeuvring enemy for far too long. This means that you will be vulnerable to attack yourself, and are unlikely to survive an entire match if flying this plane. The aircraft doesn't carry bombs either, so you're stuck to pumping ammunition into light ground units, such as AAAs or artillery emplacements, which don't offer many points. This means that ground attack is not very attractive, and you will likely find yourself going for more exciting targets, such as other players in aircraft. In this you will probably be hugely outclassed. The original aircraft was introduced in 1931, and sits at a battle rating of 1.0, which is the lowest in the game. But this isn't, however, enough to stop it flying against far superior monoplane fighters. Modifying the Fury will bring some consolation, but the improvements will be minor, and you'd be better off saving your game credits for another time. My tips for users of this aircraft? Use it as a research tool for more advanced aircraft, because you won't want to be stuck with it for too long. Apart from that, I can't really say any more about this plane, so this seems a good place to stop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and beg you to comment on it. If you have any suggestions for the aircraft that I should be featuring in my next review, please put that in the comments below also, as put it this way, I haven't quite mastered the art of mind reading. Also, as a side note, this wasn't in my script, but I thought I'd mention it. Sorry about the very poor microphone quality. This I'm very keen to fix sometime soon. So even more would like the comment section to be filled up with your angry, happy, sad, or incredibly pleased comments about this video. And definitely any suggestions on a really cheap but decent enough microphone. I have been your host, and thank you for watching The Real BC Pirate.